Oh, it's the holiday season, and I've been listening to Dean Martin, Christmas Pandora channel. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the Don't Stifle Me podcast. My name is Jacob Stee-full, and here on the podcast, I get to sit down with guests from all across music and performing arts and some other areas of life, but we talk about the ups and downs, the crazy path of trying to turn a passion, something you love, into your career, and the wonderful and often terrible things that happen along the way, and whatever else comes up in conversation. Before we do get into it, though, I want to mention a few things. First off, I am a singer and songwriter myself, and if you'd like to check my music out, I do have 3 CDs and some stuff on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube and all the things. So you can check that out. Just search my name or go to jacobstiefel.com for more info on that. Secondly, if or when you plan on buying something off of Amazon.com, you'd be helping the podcast out if you could first go to the podcast website, which is don'tstifleme.com. And all you have to do is click the Amazon banner right there on the homepage. I think it says Shop, Connect, Enjoy, and that'll take you right to Amazon.com. And you'll pay the same price that you would have anyway, but the podcast will get a small commission percentage kickback from Amazon for sending you their way. So helps us out. You pay the same either way. And lastly, if you'd like some behind the scenes pictures and videos and MP3 downloads of some of the jams with the podcast guests, then you can go to patreon.com/DSM podcast. Over there, you can pledge a small amount of money per month. I mean, a couple bucks, $5, whatever you want to do. And you get access to those things. Oh, there's my phone. How about that? You get access to those things, that I mentioned, pictures and whatnot, and some other perks and things that are available over on that website, which once again is www.patreon.com/DSM podcast. All right. On this episode of the podcast is my friends Elliott and Chris of the duo Volk. That is VOLK, kind of like Volkswagen, but not. But Elliott and Chris are new to Nashville, just moved here not too long ago, but they've been playing together for a while. They stopped by the house here to chat. We talked about Berlin, Germany, and embarrassing shows that we've played in the past and all kinds. Who knows what else we talked about? I don't know, but that's what you're here for, to find out. So here it is. Here's my talk with Volk.
Pick it up from piano.
It ain't dying I'm talking about. It's living.
I'm just glad you're here.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out. We're drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Chris's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank you.
in. Would you both like to introduce yourselves to the peoples?
Sure.
I'm Christopher Lowe. I'm the guitarist and semi-bassist and semi-vocalist of Volk. I will say that my age is off limits. Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Fine.
My name's Elliott. I play drums and sing for Volk.
Nice. Very cool. How do you pronounce your last name, Elliott?
Reich.
That's what I thought. That's
It's
right.
German.
That's correct. Yes.
We can't talk about that either.
Mine is Stee-full.
Yeah.
And it's I-E. Reich is E-I. Yeah. So, yeah. Birthday man.
Yeah?
But we can't talk about the year.
Yeah, we can talk. I'm talking. Yeah. I mean, I've never been above making fun of myself. So, yeah, I'm old.
Nah.
If I feel it in my back when I wake up.
I'm like a fine wine.
Yeah, just get better.
Better with that.
Well, you look great, Jake. You work
Aw.
out. You work out. It's very obvious you work out.
It's very sweet of you. I do
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah,
You know?
you got to.
What do y'all do?
I go for runs, especially on tour, and yoga. It's the only way to not die in a car for 6 hours.
Yeah. I've been known to, from time to time, stop at a pilot truck stop and do a elbow or a forearm handstand in a parking lot.
God,
That's
it's
awesome.
like survival mode.
Yeah,
You got to move. Got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah.
Christopher Lowe.
I know. Well, I put
Do you
the low in
prefer-
expectations, so
Do you prefer
that's my
Chris?
35-year-old joke. Low in expectations. Been using it since I was like 12. Copyright.
Copyright.
Whenever I see Billy Joe Shaver talking and he'll say like a phrase, he'll be like, copyright.
Do you prefer Chris or Christopher?
Everybody calls me Chris. Usually it's just like if my mom's mad at me or my girlfriend, she'll say Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I know I'm in trouble.
But if somebody says Chris, do you think in your head, I wish they would call me Christopher? That is my name.
No, I never.
Okay, cool.
No.
Some people are picky about shit like that.
I got Chris Lowe a lot in high school. I was always Chris Lowe. I was like
Chris
one
Lowe.
of the, yeah. Or CeeLo on the football field.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get the standard lame band questions out of the way.
Excellent.
Those are my favorite.
Where did you meet? How did you form and where? And I'm sure the story that you tell people. What is it?
So it's 2012. I had moved to Berlin. In another life, I was a teacher, teaching English, literature, and history.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
In Berlin, it was a school called Berlin Brandenburg International School. That's why don't ask me to speak German. My German's awful. Because it was actually an English-speaking school, and I'm teaching like Russian ambassadors' kids and businessmen from Canada
Very
and U.S.
interesting.
and Saudi Arabia. It was cool. It was cool. But I was just kind of burnt out from teaching. And I met Elliott, who was there also for teaching.
That was in 2013.
Was that 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was. I'm old.
12, 13.
We both got there at the
Yeah,
same
right.
time.
It's all a blur. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elliott,
So y'all met over there?
Elliott was originally there for theater, had started teaching as well, and we both kind of were disenchanted with our jobs and
Yeah.
started
Were
going to
you
those
playing
open mics.
music at that time separately?
Separately, yeah. It's a place called Madame Claude's is where we met, and it's an old brothel in Berlin. And they have a open mic every Sunday night. It's still going, I'm pretty sure. It's great, and it's very forgiving.
And that's where? In Berlin?
In Berlin, Germany.
Okay, got it.
And we were both there, and we were both playing kind of similar sort of music. And I was like, hey, Elliott, you sing a lot better than I do. Do you want to sing my songs?
That's a great pickup.
Those
I mean,
exact
a great
words.
like
Yeah.
work together line.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're better than me. But I do this thing too, so I could do that and you could sing it. Yeah.
I hit my guitar real hard and hope that it sounds right.
Sounds pretty badass. I was listening to the new EP, which we'll discuss. I was listening to it earlier, and all the songs either need to be in a movie and or on my workout playlist.
Yes, right.
Cool. For the
gym.
They're just like ragers.
Yeah.
We just went for one. We went for really like
Come
our
on, get up
live
on-
sound.
get up on the
We went
microphone
for
just a
like
little
our
bit.
live,
There you go.
like show essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of what we do when we play live.
Yeah. I started to get down and do push-ups. I was so I was like, I want to do something, hit something.
Have you ever used Submit Hub?
Submit Hub. I don't think
It's
so.
this online application that artists can use to try to get like reviews and from online magazines and blogs, or try to get on.
Does it work, or is it like one of those
It
things?
didn't
where-
work for us.
Yeah.
But if
I've
you have
done-
credits, you can like the reviewer. If you have a certain type of credit, they have to comment on a song or
Yeah.
EP you send to them. And like one of them was like, "Whoa, it's exactly like what you said. Like this is a bit too intense for me," because it was like an indie rock thing.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have enough delay going on. I don't have like 3 delays going on at the same time. But it was like, this is not really for me, but man, this is like great workout music, or if I'm trying to get down at a party.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what it is. I've tried some of those things before where you can, they say, yeah, just pay $7 a month to be a member of this and we'll pitch your songs to these movies and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
that's- Yeah. And I talked to that not long after I signed up for one of those. I was talking to, I think it was a lawyer friend of mine, and they said, yeah, what they do is they get that money from you, and if they pick your song, they don't tell you, then they go to their songwriters and they say, hey, we need a song that's very close to this, but not this.
oh, that's great.
Wow.
And then
'Cause it's
they
cheaper.
they get like
Yeah.
thousands of people around the world to pay them $7 a month or whatever.
It's so lame because like the music industry is already such in shambles, and it's like you're watching a vulture pick at a carcass,
Right?
like
Yeah.
why are you coming after like the last tidbits of a poor musician in that way? But I've heard like if there are legit copyright or not like publishing companies, I guess is what those are. It takes like 2 or 3 years for your song to be discovered,
Right,
or something. If you're like in a catalog,
Right.
but I don't know. That's something that we have definitely not figured out. It's like
I don't know.
I think
I tried there for a little while,
yeah.
and then I was like, there's so many things. There's so many things to do. You can't do it all.
Many.
I think it takes people skills, and we're musicians. We don't
A
have
lot of
people
things.
skills.
Hey,
Those are
hey,
important.
I don't.
Nothing but.
So, Elliot, what were you doing in Berlin?
I had originally came there
The
for
theater?
theater,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I brought my guitar with me, and
Yeah.
I started learning like more blues stuff. So I was playing a bunch of blues things at an open mic, really like screaming at the mic, and then Chris and I started playing together. And about a year and a half after that, I started learning how to play the drums, and we got really loud. But yeah, it was, I don't know, music just kind of organically happened for me, and then. Yeah, saw Chris at the open mic, and eventually we were kind of like, we've been rehearsing these songs for a while. Maybe we should start a band.
Where
Okay.
did Volk come from? The name?
I always wanted to move back to the States eventually and open up a venue just for like performance art, whether it's music or theater or dance or however,
Yeah.
and call it Volk, because it's, I want it to be like for the people. It's like, it's our folk,
Yeah.
essentially, in meaning. So I liked that, and then I was like, that's a strong-ass name. Why don't we just name our band that?
Yeah.
We've been told a couple times that we should probably change our band name, but we're in too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spotify just like
too
can't do
far.
the simple thing of like, you can make algorithms on YouTube to get rid of nudity. You can't differentiate this one band from this one band with a code.
Yeah.
But like we'll get mixed in with a bunch of like German bands and things like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
I know for a while there, not long after I met you, I thought the name of the group was Live Volk
I know, it's our
yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
because that's what the website
Yeah.
is, and then like some of the social medias and stuff.
I think all the social media is basically, or anything
Yeah.
that we pay attention to. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're paying
Yeah, that's
attention
our
to
handle.
what's it called, Tumblr anymore.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't think I have it. Somehow,
Do you
I
ever
used
go
to-
back? It's just like, oh, MySpace. Ooh, I better take that down.
Yeah, I did. I had to do that at one point. There was a while there when I posted something on Facebook, I would just click the Tumblr thing because it was down there
Yeah.
at the bottom, whatever. But at some point, it stopped connecting, and I was just like, fuck that. Like,
Thank you for confirming that we can cuss on this podcast. All
yes,
right, cool.
I'll be the leader.
Here we go.
Somewhere.
Fuck. It's my birthday. Fuck. I'm not sorry, Mom.
I'm not
Please.
sorry.
Please listen to this podcast, Mom.
I do what I want. We play rock and roll. We drive the wrong way in parking lots, and we do other cool shit.
We've all played, I just realized we've all played a Dares. We were playing a Dares
Oh,
once,
yeah.
and we looked to the right or the left. I don't know where your sticker
Yeah,
is. And we were
I
like,
think we took a picture.
oh shit, it's
Yeah.
Jacob.
I think so. Yeah, Adair Saloon in
also,
Dallas, Texas.
That
Yeah.
place in Ohio is, was it Akron?
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
I saw your
shit,
poster.
Buzzbin?
Red something.
Oh, no.
What's the name of that place?
Was it?
It's someplace, it's like Columbus or, no, the Columbus is Tree Bark.
Oh shit.
Those northern
Empire. Was it
Yes.
Empire or something or other?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
your poster.
that was a place that was absolutely a strip club at some point.
Wasn't
yeah.
it, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because there was
Just
like
like-
2 or 3 around it, and then there's no windows in the place.
You're like,
And like, stage with like some walkout areas, and yeah, definitely.
Man, how bad of a businessman do you have to be that you do so bad that your strip club closes that it becomes a music venue? It's like the
also
opposite.
looked like it was not a classy strip club. It was not in the upper 50% of the class of strip clubs.
Yeah.
Not that I have great experience in strip clubs. I think I've been in.
I just don't
2
get the
in my
point.
life.
I think I'm the same. It's just like I went in there, I was like,
I feel
don't
like
get
in
this.
the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, most of the
Oh my
90s,
god, a
strip
strip club
clubs
with like
would
a
have been
live
great.
drummer
Would have been
would
awesome.
be amazing.
Ooh, that would be cool.
But
Yeah.
They
I have
used,
a
we
com-
used to
I
be
have-
like that.
Ah, I didn't know that.
within 5 yards of me right now, I bet both of you have smartphones. I have a smartphone, a laptop, and a desktop computer. On all of those, I can go look at as many naked people as I want to look at for free.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like, I don't know. Now, I guess if I had $1 million in the bank and me and my buddies just wanted to go blow $20,000 or something,
Yeah.
maybe a strip club would be fun then, but I don't know. I've never been in that position.
Well, it's funny because that's the art of like stripping came about in the 20s, and before then it was burlesque. We actually had some burlesque dancers at our EP release show.
Oh,
That was
nice.
super fun.
So-
was
That
super
just
fun.
happened recently, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You
Yeah.
texted me and I was doing something. What night was that?
It was like,
Busy musician.
It's been a
how
busy.
dare you.
It's been a very busy month or two.
yeah.
Or,
It
it
was
just
like
feels
the
like a busy
29th.
like
right.
the 29th of last month at Springwater, the good old
Oh, was
Springwater.
it that long ago? Man,
What day is? Oh wait, it's my birthday. It's the night.
yeah.
It's like, this is such a great representation of all of our understandings of time and,
Right.
and lack thereof. And
It was just the other day. I feel like that was 2 months ago.
I think of in terms of 6 months. I'm supposed to be trying to get this tour going for
Yeah.
this area
Oh.
6 months from now. That's the only time I'm ever like conscious of. I think.
Yeah. So is the EP out now? Like, can people go download it as they hear this? And
You can listen
3 weeks from
Wait.
now.
What are we allowed to
officially,
say?
it's not officially released.
Yeah.
Our label Romanus Records, they're doing a big vinyl sale all at
cool.
once. Probably towards the end of October, I think we're shooting for, and that's like special vinyl. He'll do like one-offs,
Cool.
and the vinyl's already pretty special. We have like a cow splatter 7-inch and a tricolor 7-inch, and then he's making all these unique ones. He stuffs them with things. In the past, he's done vinyl for the Ghost Wolves out of Austin, Texas. They're a really cool duo.
Yeah.
And they just played a whole run with the Deads, or who was it?
Well, they play a lot with All Them Witches, who are kind of like Nashville.
Well, they did one European tour with All Them Witches.
Okay.
Anyway, they're awesome, and he did like vinyl stuff with razor blades for them and gunpowder
Ooh.
and like
Yeah.
yeah,
I hope
and
they
then
were
he'll-
like in.
oh yeah, no,
containers.
he's like a total professional, but it's
They,
He has
they,
one,
I think they just
yeah,
dumped some
right.
razor blades in
I'm going to get the
name.
name wrong. King Gizzard, or
yeah, it's King Gizzard. He does
they,
tons of
but they have it's a LCD light in the vinyl, and as it spins, the lights
LED.
change. LED lights.
Ah,
he
It's
does
pretty
really
interesting.
like fun, unique
Yeah.
stuff.
cool.
But
So they're doing a special thing for the
yeah, they're doing a release,
Nice.
and then everything will like officially be out. We've we recorded it almost over a year ago. Actually,
Yeah.
well over almost exactly a year ago in Indianapolis. So we've been kind of sitting on it. We
Nice.
told ourselves this wasn't going to happen, that it wouldn't take a year to release it, but
You know,
that's how it goes.
at least it's getting done though. That's
Yeah.
great.
Here,
Yeah.
This is my favorite one. I can throw that.
Oh, yeah, that is
up
cool.
on the website.
Yeah, send that to me. I'll
Yeah.
put that up. That's cool. It's a picture of one of the records with a bunch of color of the vinyls.
Yeah,
different colors.
yeah.
I know when
It's
I
like
got
an actual
my
piece
second
of art,
CD.
yeah.
I got it put on vinyl. And it was expensive as shit, so I couldn't do
Yeah.
it for the third one. But not yet, anyway. But when I got them, they said you can get a specific color if you want for this much more, or for this price, you can just get whatever random color they give you.
Oh,
so I
that's
just did
cool.
that.
That's
And it was
cool.
like a purplish kind of cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But that will be released later this month. If you see us live, if you come see one of our live shows this month, you can buy it at the show.
The vinyl.
Well, this
mama.
is, we're talking on, was this Tuesday?
Tuesday the 9th.
The 9th of
Chris's
October.
birthday.
Christopher's birthday.
Christopher's birthday. I'm in trouble.
But it probably won't come out until towards the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
Another
Perfect.
2 or 3 weeks or
Yeah,
something like that.
perfect.
So,
We may still have a few with us.
awesome.
Chris Banta is the name of our label dude, and he usually sells out of his vinyl. He'll only sell like 100 of them, and he'll do limited edition runs. But
Well, I don't know about now because I feel like maybe it's gotten more affordable, But in 2013, when I did my run of vinyls, 100 of them cost me $1,400.
Wow. Were they LP
Because it was only,
size?
yeah, they were like the full,
Yeah, ours are the little guys.
So
But,
do you have like 2 tracks on each side?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's good. I wonder if you could have fit. Can you fit 3?
Just depends on how
how
long
long
the songs you
yeah,
want.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And how loud
We
they
had
are.
explicit
Because
instructions. Yeah.
if a song's really loud, you need more vinyl for it.
Right.
Otherwise, you got the needle jumping up and down. It'll just skip all over.
The depth of the thing. Like mine are
Yeah.
pretty thick because of the bass, and it's a whole bunch of shit I don't really understand. But,
I don't know anything about that stuff. I was a CD baby, no pun intended, basically. So
I grew up listening to vinyl, but I didn't until recently, relatively. Haven't understood about like making the vinyl.
Yeah.
But I've got some good friends that have a studio in Memphis where I recorded over there.
Nice.
Sam Phillips.
Oh crap! That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really good friends with the Phillips family. They're the best people you'll ever know.
Whoa.
But they've got in there. They got a guy named Jeff Powell who has a lathe and like cuts the vinyl, the original copy or whatever.
It's so cool
and they
to
can do
watch.
like live to vinyl recordings and stuff. It's really cool. So at some point, I want to sit down with him when I can go over to Memphis and talk with him about that whole process. It's going to be really.
I always find you can really feel the music more when you listen to it. Listen to something that's been cut live, or like hasn't had much interference between the analog recording of it and the actual like making of the lacquer, like when the lathe's going.
Yeah.
Our first EP, a long time ago that we made, we actually had it mastered.
it was an adventure.
It was 100% analog, but we had it mastered analog too. And I sat in the room and like watched it be cut into to make the lacquer.
Oh,
the
yeah,
music
yeah.
from
She's being
the
humble.
1/4-inch tape. Yeah. And anyway, it's just really cool. But the awesome part about that is when you go to listen to it, it's actually quite loud, like way louder than your normal track from digital that was digitally made and then put onto vinyl. And that's just because you're like staying within the medium essentially.
Right.
Like if you listen to like the Who's Who, Who's Next, it's super freaking loud compared to like, I don't know, most albums nowadays. It's expensive to do, but
Yeah.
it was cool. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah. Where'd y'all record this one?
This one, was in Indianapolis at Threshold Studios.
With Bone.
Yeah, his name's Brian Thorburn, and he does a lot of heavy production for metal bands and
Rap artists.
and rap artists. So
Yeah.
he's really comfortable making these huge sounds.
It's definitely a huge sound for so few instruments.
Right?
Yeah,
And we
it's,
don't really have the means to like be fancy when we're recording because
Yeah.
we just there's so much we don't know.
Right.
So it really was like us bringing in what we're comfortable with playing, what
Right.
we've played a bunch for a bunch of people.
How did y'all decide to stick with the duo thing and not somewhere along the way be like, hey, we need to hire a bass player. Hey, we need to hire this or whatever.
Chris and I just can't play with other people.
Yeah, we're awkward and we're not good
Well, hey,
instrumentalists.
we just can't play with other people.
We actually had a drummer, and that's actually the story of how Elliott picked up the drums.
He left his
We
kit
had a
in my
drummer
living
for a
room.
month in Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jim from Greece,
Which is what every Greek tells people to call him. My friend George told me that.
Really?
It's always
that's
Jim.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because they have weird, hard to pronounce names
Yes.
or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a nice guy. He had his little starter drum kit thing that he bought. It was like a practice kit. And we were playing together for like a month. We did one show. I think there's a tape somewhere of us playing to no one in some bar in Berlin. And he just disappeared. And we were like, oh, darn.
He had to
this
move
drum
back to
set, though.
Greece, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, he just had to move
So
back.
then how long were y'all in Berlin?
4 years for me.
Oh, shit.
Total.
Mm-hmm. 2 of the years, as the band.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
but like the actual incarnation of, like what we are now is so different from actually what it was, even electric, because Nashville, and kind of like, I like to call it my education in like country music and like embracing my roots as a Texan, which I thoroughly rejected as a young kid. and like being very heavily influenced by that has really kind of made like the kind of I think we've decided upon cowpunk is what we want to call our genre now. Cowpunk.
Cowpunk? Okay.
Elliott's looking at me like, you idiot. It's like, I thought that's what we agreed on.
It is.
She's just sitting back and soaking it in. All the great info that you're dishing out for the people.
Well, yeah, it's just, I mean, because we've talked about it a lot. Like, it's just like what we were when we started. Like, Elliott was like, she had a little kick thing. It was just like a board. We called it Fritz.
Well, and
she was
there's
an
the
acoustic
songs we were
guitar.
playing. Like, we play a lot of the like blues songs they'd written, and like
Right.
we're
Well, and-
literally just starting to work back one of those songs that I wrote a long time ago. now.
All things evolve and grow
Absolutely,
and go where they go, you know?
And
Yeah.
I think that just, I don't know, it's just also like, I'll say to people, the duo is not like some sort of cultural thing that the White Stripes made okay.
Yeah.
It's economic.
Right,
Because
for sure.
it's easier to make, it's easier to sustain yourself that way. We'll see our friends who are usually like, if they're home, they'll play full band, but if they're on the road, it's just him and a drummer.
Yeah.
Or them and a drummer, or most, like, we'll see, just because it's,
Oh yeah, I mean that's why
sustainable.
I've played so few
Yeah.
band shows in the last couple of years, is because I can go make a couple $200-300 or whatever per show, just me.
Yeah.
Or I can make a little bit more than that and pay 3 guys and have a van and buy hotel rooms.
Well, unless you're playing in Texas, venues don't quite understand the idea of really paying a band. You know, like a
it just-
band.
It depends. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They and a lot of them will be like, "You need how much? Oh, you know, I got some boys up the road that'll come do it for $75 a man."
And they know all the Allman Brothers songs.
When so you were teaching,
Yeah.
Chris, at the time. What, Elliott? What did you had you have a day job or something?
I was teaching too. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. It's quite easy to get a visa, an artist visa in Germany, if you're also teaching English. And so I had my small portfolio from the theater work I'd done in New York, and that kind of snuck my way through that visa door legally to stay there. But I also could teach English. So I did that for quite a while, like 3.5 years of my time.
At the Kitas.
Yeah, all over, young kids. It was fun. I liked
So
it.
you are originally from California?
Mhm,
What
San
part?
Diego.
San Diego. And Chris, you're from
I'm from East Texas.
East Texas.
The part of Texas that gets made fun of by the rest of the state.
Is it close to like Longview? In that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I went to
Marshall
school.
or-
Marshall, Longview. I went to Tyler, which I think is the biggest town in that area. I went to
Okay.
school in Tyler. I mean, it's like 45 minutes from Longview. Tyler, I like to explain, is just a smaller, more racist Dallas.
Yeah, Paul Cawthon's from Tyler.
Yeah, I learned that. Paul Cawthon.
I know that name.
He's
I
from the Texas Gentleman. He's kind of a big deal now, like with
knew that. It sounds familiar.
He had a good
With
week
what
for
he's playing.
Americana.
Yeah.
He was everywhere in Americana.
he doesn't like to put himself in a genre, but he's
Yeah.
got this great baritone voice, and his songs are to me reminiscent of like Waylon Jennings, Billy Joe Schaefer stuff. But he's got this Dallas sound as well, because he is a Texas Gentleman, was a Texas Gentleman.
Paul what?
Paul Cawthon,
C-A-U.
Cauthen.
We're just looking him up right here.
Yeah.
Right here in the
Yeah.
old studio.
We got to meet him at D's. It was cool.
Yeah, we were
okay.
super loud, and he was like, "That was really rocking."
My Cadillac. Let's listen to that one. Oh, I got it on mute. Hold on. It's not bad.
Yeah,
Good boogie and little stuff. I like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
And that voice.
I forgot how we got talking about him.
Tyler, he's from Tyler.
Oh,
He
yes,
loves
that's right.
Tyler.
He's Texas.
He wax poetic about it,
Yeah.
and it cracks me up.
I'm bad about like some of the songs I've written. If I ever actually play in front of an audience in East Texas, I'll probably get tarred and feathered.
Well, when we first moved back from Berlin, we thought we were going to move to Austin. We hadn't
Yeah.
planned on moving to Nashville, so we lived
So y'all moved here from Berlin?
Basically, we first lived in Chris's hometown in Palestine, Texas for
Yeah.
about 3 months. I worked at Applebee's for 2 months. It's horrifying. Learned everything I needed to know about East Texas then. And we played in Austin a bunch, which was great. And we
Right.
played all around Texas. And we loved the shows outside of Austin. We didn't know anyone in Austin yet. So it's
Yeah.
like, unless you know people in Austin, playing there can be such shit.
Yeah.
Which is
Very
just the
similar
truth.
to here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's
exactly.
any town, right? You just
Yeah.
gotta find
Yeah.
you gotta find those bands that have just established a good local scene around them, a good community, like a
Yeah, I've
community, not even a
found-
scene, a community.
One of the things that I wish that I would have known, I kind of knew it, but would have accepted when I first started down this whole crazy route, was that I heard somebody told me along the way, and it proved to be true, that when you're touring and you're trying to play like original shows and establish a fan base in areas, you can, like, especially nowadays, there's websites and there's apps and there's this you can sign up for to do this and blah blah blah. But the best thing you can really do is find other bands that are doing the same thing, and they can help you in their market and you help them in your market. Swapping shows, it's the best resource of anything. It's networking to the
true.
bone than going to sign up for some special group or list or whatever.
It has to be reciprocal, like now more than ever. Bands
Yeah.
need to be helped. Like being standoffish when I see another band just like trying.
Just
to
makes
be
no
like-
sense.
It just doesn't make any sense.
They're
Like,
just
you're not
hurting
gonna go
themselves.
anywhere.
Yeah. It's not 1973 where somebody's going to walk in and be like, "Hey, you're really great. Here's a record deal
Yeah.
and
No,
$100,000 or whatever."
Well,
Like,
and like every once in a while, there's always some dude. It's always a dude who comes up and is like, "Oh man, I love what you guys are doing. Like, do you guys like, do you have a manager? Like, do you have this and that?"
Booker?
And we'll keep talking to him, and now we kind of know like questions to ask. Like,
Right,
well, what
to
do
see
you
if
do?
they're-
Like, what do you, like, what are you offering and stuff? And half the time we're like, "Man, I appreciate it, but." We know how to do that stuff better than you. Like I bet money on that. Like Chris can
Yeah.
book better shows than you can. It's just the truth of it. You know what I mean? Like we're just all forced to understand what we're doing. Way more than they had to 40 years ago. It's
Yeah.
just the reality.
But I definitely try to pay it forward as much as possible. If somebody, if I want a show or if I'm trying to get something, I want to help that person. Like
Yeah.
maybe out of selfish reasons, but it's just like, if you're successful, I'm successful.
exactly. That's
Yeah,
the biggest thing.
precisely,
Like
yeah.
when a lot of guys will think, "Oh man, that guy's had these lucky breaks," and kind of like wish bad upon other people because they can't get it. And it's like there's plenty of people out there listening to music and going to shows and
Yeah.
enough to support Volk and Jacob Stiefel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So why
Yeah.
not? What's good for you is what's good for
I
the
blame it
whole
on
boat.
like this American dream thing of like I did it on my own. Like I got where I was on my own.
Yeah.
Because that is just such a load of shit. Like no one on this
Yeah.
planet in any career got to where they are by themselves. It's just not true. People that profess that, it's just not fucking true. There's no way that could have happened. Without a community, without someone
Right.
along the way giving him this, giving him that,
Yeah. And it's just, I like seeing, I don't like it at the time, but I appreciate it. Like, especially when I see somebody who's a better guitarist or better songwriter or doing something, anything better than me, better performer, whatever, than me, because it inspires me. Like, that's
Yeah.
still the cool thing about Nashville
For sure.
is
Oh,
like,
God.
like you can't make
Yeah.
any money in this town, but man, if you go out, you get humbled real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that moment when you see somebody and you're like, I always get like 50% love it and I'm in awe and I'm enjoying it, and 50% is I'm pissed off because now I got to go home and
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Absolutely.
you just, I still want to believe, and I've heard from other divisions, if you work hard, you can't, probably the days of the super rock star things are over, but you
Yeah.
can still, if you're willing to work at it hard. I remember I'm sure we'll get to Matt Begley here in a bit, but I'll
Yeah.
segue to him. Remember you guys on his podcast is like, musician's the only person who will something like work 20 hours a week to
my buddy told
to
me
not
that.
have a job.
Yeah, like, my buddy Drew Smith here in town told me one day that one of us were bitching at the other one about any of these things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we're musicians and songwriters are the only people crazy enough to work like 16 hours a day to keep from having a real job.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like,
But if you do work at
Yeah.
it, I think, and like, that's kind of always been for me because, I mean, okay, so I am 35, and it is a little weird to be coming to, I didn't start like playing in front of people until I was like 29.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Like when we're doing those open mics in Berlin. And I have to have some sort of, it's probably my age, I need to have some sort of clear like marker of like progress for me.
it would be
Of,
nice
like,
to have
if I
those.
was still doing those, like if we were still like in Berlin playing Our Canoa to no one,
right.
Showing
like
up to
it's
these
like I
smoky
don't.
bars
This is
with
getting
no
sad.
sound.
This is getting dad rock territory, Elliot. I'm gonna need to stop. I'm gonna learn how to code.
But Dad,
But I think like if we just you just keep busting your ass, and like we've see our friends like the Ghost Wolves, they hit it hard all the time.
Yeah.
And they've like they tour up Europe all the time. They get big shows now, but there's just like there's so much work. You know, you have like
So
you know
much work.
you have appreciation for. I'll probably get laughed at this. Probably because I'm blanking on his name. The guy who kind of this is going to get me in trouble. The guy who kind of wants to be the modern day Prince. Good songwriter.
Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Who works hard as hell.
Yeah,
Like
oh, yeah.
to be a
Yeah.
good performer, good songwriter, and he worked for that.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing is, once you get to whatever step along the way, pedestal, whatever marker, it doesn't end.
No, there's
At
always
no
another
point
one.
ever
No.
will you get to a point in the creative field or whatever this is that we do. At no point do you get to a point where you're like, okay, I made it. Now I'm going to just kind of sit back and cruise.
yeah, I think Paul McCartney's still butthurt. He hasn't written like a hit single, so, like
Yeah.
as good as his earlier stuff. Like that's got to just kind of slowly fester under your skin.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
God
whoever.
damn
Like,
it.
like Faith Hill and Tim McGraw are still out there touring and trying to get people to come to their shows and,
Yeah.
and doing this and that.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Like
I remember.
Buddy Guy. I saw Buddy Guy at the Ryman the other
Nice.
night. It was awesome for the Americana Awards.
Well,
feel
it's
like-
really tough for the established artist, I think. Like, because we've talked about this, like for the organization I'm part of, Content Creators Coalition. Of
Yeah.
Like the older artists, the people who had the record deals beforehand, are the ones who are really struggling in a different way.
Yeah, I was like, they
Not
still have
really
a deal.
struggling. They still have their deals, and they still can get on the
Rodney
radio.
Crowell's
But like,
all right.
but like with their
What is it like? Stuff. Yeah, let's talk about this for a second. The Content Creators Coalition.
yeah,
Is that right? Okay. And so what we talked about and what they talked about and what you're talking about is it before like 1970 or 1971 or what? Like songs that the older people, because it's like
well,
Smokey Robinson. and
that's
some other people, like,
that was like with radio needing to pay artists for playing.
Yeah.
The thing with the class that I teach for
Okay.
Content Creators Coalition had to do with how the digital age has really affected. Like it's like when we were talking about vinyl and making money.
Yeah.
Like why you won't get that guy at a show come up to you, here's $10 million to make a record contract.
Right.
The reason why he won't do that is because there's no way, based upon what the music industry used to be, that he could make that $10 million.
He could make that money back. Yeah, for
because
sure.
there's nothing to sell, because the way the laws exist right now make it easy for YouTube to be playing Paul Cawthon.
right.
I'm not sure if that's put up there with his. It is
It's on
put up
his
there with his
label.
permission, but like somebody like Merle Haggard, or what Prince was complaining about that whole time was that
Yeah.
there was
Oh,
no
man, yeah,
way
you can go on
to.
that.
If this is for free, and YouTube is the #1 music player on the planet,
right.
nobody's going to go buy a CD. CDs are dead.
Right.
CDs were cheating in the 90s anyways, and they deserve to be dead. Or the record industry got
Yeah.
what they deserved, but it like the people who it falls on is us artists, especially
Right.
the small. The problem with the established artists is that they're having to go, Kiss, will probably never sell another vinyl again. So they're all going to they have to come out of retirement
Yeah.
or never retire. And Neil Young's the only person who was coughing to us. I'm going to play till I die.
right.
And he probably wants to do that, but like people who are getting up there.
Yeah, some of them want to do that. Like Willie Nelson will probably play until he dies
Yeah.
because
He
that's
has a
his
lot of-
life. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that might not want to play
Yeah.
Yeah.
forever. They might want to retire and spend time doing
Yeah.
other things, but they can't because this is all they've
Because the
done
way
for
that
40
they used
years.
to
and
make the way the money used to come in, and that's probably to the disadvantage. And I've had this explained to my people in Content Creators Coalition. Explains like the music industry almost did itself a disservice.
Sorry. Got it. Yeah.
Of the music industry in such smoke and mirrors, and you don't really. It seems like there's this infinite amount of money.
Yeah.
With the shows and production, but it's not. It's actually when you got those multi-million-dollar record deals, that wasn't you getting that money right there, and that's yours to spend. That's money you're going to pay
You're
back.
talking about
Oh, yeah,
360 deals.
Oh no, 360 deals are actually worse. 360 deals aren't just records. They get
Well,
your
yeah,
merch.
it's 360.
They get your merch. They get anything that you're selling.
Yeah, that's what they're doing
artists.
now, is because that's the
But
only
always
way.
the records had to be paid back. If a label was going to put money into
like when the money like to here's we're going to buy out the studio time for you to take 6 months and make a record. Yeah, the money had to go back to the
and there was a system
sure.
for it. The A&R is like, all right, here's money to make an EP. Then we're going to send you, and you're going to open up for this much more established band.
right.
You're going to get to know it, and then once that money's made back, we'll do the album. We'll repeat.
Sorry, my phone. I think it was my phone vibrating over there. Sorry. Yes.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
But that system doesn't work anymore with when you can go on YouTube, and it's kind of complicated to explain why YouTube and Spotify are allowed to have these really crappy deals of like if Paul Cawthon wants to make any money off that song right there, he's at 1,000.
He's going to need a lot.
He's going to need
more.
a lot more because it's about 0.001 cents
Right.
per play. And that depends on if he has a deal with YouTube. He has signed the contract online saying, you're allowed to play
monetization or whatever.
and it depends upon how much Lightning Rod Records is taking.
Yeah.
But this is
his
something that
publishing-
would like.
So if you're
company.
Rodney Crowell and you've been doing this for 30 years and you've been over, tons and tons of record labels, it gets real complicated real quick.
Yeah. Well,
It's something that would like really influence like Dave Crosby,
Yeah.
who's tweeted about this most recently, saying
Yeah.
like, "Hey, my songs have been played a billion times. I made $4 this month."
Yeah.
man, that's crazy.
Oh, the guy who wrote All About That Bass, which got, millions and millions of views or plays on Spotify. He said he got like a check for $1,000.
Oh man.
So
I read a story in the newspaper here in Nashville sometime in the last couple of years that I forgot which ones, but the top 4 or 5 record labels here in Nashville own a combined like 30 or 35% of Spotify. And I was like, well, shit. Well, no wonder. Like, no wonder they're not fighting for.
There were some
more money.
payoffs
They've got
going
the
out
whole-
there in the early days. Yeah. Just walking into Sony.
Well, it all just happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And the music
And we're
industry
still
just,
we're just now passing the music modernization thing. Is that it got passed in the House
Yes,
and the
it
Senate
did.
separately? Have they come together and
I'm not
passed it?
sure about that.
I'm not sure.
I need to be more educated about that one.
Because I mean, other than that, we were still operating off copyright laws from like the
horrible.
20s.
Oh God, the copyright laws is awful. Like I was learning
Yeah.
at the last, I didn't teach it. I can't remember her name. Her Erin something. She was the teacher of this last C3, talking about how
If people want to check out this organization, what's the
Content Creators Coalition.
It's probably a website. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
it
If you
is.
just Google it, like it's. I think it's c3.org.
Cool.
It's been a while since I actually taught a class.
I've been to one or two. I can't remember, but it's super interesting stuff that not enough people.
It's
pay
complicated
attention to.
stuff, and it's like, hurting musicians is probably harder than hurting cats.
Yeah.
Because we want to focus on our art. Like we don't want to deal with
Right.
like when you start talking to us about business stuff, that just sucks. And like, but
Yeah.
Well,
in
and
this
there's things
day
that
and
won't
age.
impact you
yeah,
till 15 years down the road when
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, I said
Right.
yes to that guy. And then I signed it and I didn't really realize what I was doing because I was just so thankful.
One of the things at that, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
At that content creators meeting thing that stuck out to me the most was I forgot who they were talking about, but they said a famous musician or artist or something went to Congress, went to DC, and was like standing there talking to a congressman or a senator or somebody, and pulled out his phone, and there was like music playing in the lobby of wherever they were. He said, "I can use this phone right now and say, hey Siri, who is this playing or whatever. I can hold this app up and it can recognize within like 15 seconds a song from anywhere in the world. Why can't that be on YouTube and recognize and pick up somebody's song and copyright or whatever?
That technology.
Answer is because Google and YouTube are not required to by law, so they don't have to.
Yeah.
And because American business culture is grab, money.
More people uploading.
And as long as we don't change that little thing in the DMCA of saying YouTube must be more responsible for that. Like, it's just a simple, like, if an uploader goes on there and says, this is my content, that's okay. And it's okay for YouTube to upload it.
Yeah.
They sign
by signing that, YouTube doesn't have responsibility. It's my responsibility as the artist to tell YouTube, you need to take that down. But because it's so easy to upload.
Tilt that microphone. No, you don't have to do that. You can just tilt it up to where
it's so easy to upload.
There you go. Now sit back like you were.
Content. Yeah. And if I try to take it down, like if you search, Merle Haggard right now on Google, you'll find 300,000 pages of his discographies. And to take down one thing, it's a takedown notification for one file.
Right.
So it's a battle you can't win.
And just on my very low level, I've put up videos with my songs in them. Yeah. And it gets flagged that it's the copyright of Jacob Stiefel under this blah blah blah. Yeah. And I dispute it. I email them and I say, yes, this is me. It's me. I own the song. Oh, yeah. And I don't think it ever got straightened out. Yeah. But I mean, it's not a big deal now because I only have 1,000 views. But if it blew up, I'd be like, hey,
hello.
Yeah. You get those $2 million or 2 million views. You got that $2,000.
Right,
there you go.
Totally worth it.
I want to think that there's a silver lining, because when I do teach those classes, it's just like so depressing. But like with the fall of the music industry, is that like you, as I said earlier, if a person is willing to bust their ass and this is what you want to do, or I say like I don't do music because I want to do it, I do it because I need to. If you need to do this and you're willing to work hard at it, there are archetypes for us of how this works. You basically have to have all those hats, like you were saying earlier. You have to be your own booker. You have to be your own promoter and build your own brand and work that hard. Yeah,
you're starting a business out of your garage. Is all it is.
Yeah. But you got Cody Jinks, you got Sturgill Simpson, you have Kendrick Lamar, you have Chance the Rapper. You have examples of, Sturgill Simpson basically went to Europe for 2 years straight.
People have been doing it for a long time. I mean, Anna DeFranco out of New York famously started her own record label to support herself in the freaking 90s. It's not.
John Prine did that.
Exactly. So
and the cool thing about that is that when this comes around, you don't have to go through all the labels. This is mine because I'm the one who produced it, promoted it, put it everywhere on.
You gotta find. I don't know, find what works now. Yeah. What worked in 1981 is not what works in 2018 or whatever other year.
And it's not going to be fixed with an app.
I mean, you just gotta, I don't know. In some ways, the thing that's always worked will always work. And as far as just get fans that like you enough to buy your stuff and come to your shows and then do that in multiple places. Like that. That always works. But the ways to go about doing that, you got to be able to embrace new things and new ways of doing it. And
I mean, you could be a YouTube star if you want.
If you can do that, more power to you.
Yeah. It's just I like playing my music in front of people more. Yeah. I like the actual liveness of it.
People listening, you should definitely listen to me because I clearly know all the things about ultimate success.
We're experts.
Well, I will say, just it's so helpful to embrace everything that's uncomfortable, whether you're on the road or in your hometown trying to play music, because it's not going to get more comfortable. It's just going to get more uncomfortable, but you're going to be better at dealing with it. And there's just so much to gain from being taken out of your comfort zone.
For sure. In all things. In all
all aspects,
yeah.
Absolutely. Random questions.
Go for it.
What was your favorite childhood cartoon?
Oh.
Chris?
Transformers.
Transformers?
I took my girlfriend to go see the re-showing of Transformers, the original movie, 1985.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They showed it at the Opry.
Nice.
It was loud. Really loud.
Elliot?
Probably like Powerpuff Girls.
Really?
She's so young.
I have a twin brother, and he forced me to watch Cartoon Network with him.
I don't even remember
So
that.
those were the cartoons I got
He
to
allowed
watch.
you to watch cartoons. He gave you
Oh,
that
wow.
privilege.
I'm sorry. It's 2018. Can't say that anymore.
That's not what I meant.
Sexist.
Dang it.
Somebody.
Haha, flagged.
Okay.
Your
Elliot,
girlfriend's going to love me.
crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Crunchy.
All day.
Chris?
Crunchy. Creamy's
Oh,
boring.
You gotta agree on that, or you can't go be on the road together.
Basically.
Yeah.
This is
a
probably the only
qualifying
thing we
term.
actually agree on.
Favorite hot sauce? Chris?
Man.
Top
Favorite hot sauce?
Not you, Elliot. I called on Chris.
Sriracha, because it saves so many meals.
Yeah. Okay.
For me.
Fair enough. I don't really count that as a hot sauce. But I'll give it-
okay.
I'll give it to you.
Just
No,
like
that's
think,
all right.
okay.
I think I called
horrible
it
Texan.
Tapatio once.
Yeah, Tapatio.
Tapatio. Yeah.
I don't know if it ends with an O or A.
I don't know. At one point, I used to say Tapaccio. And,
What?
I'm pretty sure that's not it.
and my friend from Austin was like, "You're crazy. That's not what it
I
is."
love the green sauce. They have it at Fat Bites in Donaldson.
the green sauce.
The green sauce. I don't know the name.
Verde salsa kind
Yeah,
of stuff?
yeah.
It's all right. I'm going with Elliot over
All right,
here
go
on
for
the Tapatio. Tapatio.
Tapatio.
Yeah. Okay. Truck stop of choice. This is a good one. This is an
We
important
don't
one for
we don't
touring-
ever get a choice. It's
for
always
tou-
Loves,
for
because that's the
touring
only one that
musicians.
Elliot.
So that's it? Loves?
Because it's all about the
Pilot a lot
bathroom.
lately.
That's a
all
big
about the
deal.
bathroom.
That's a big deal on the road.
Yeah, I want a clean bathroom that's not creepy, that's not with creepy people, that's clean-ish as much as you can ask for. But also, I want options.
Yeah.
There's a couple strong Loves on the way, like between here and Asheville.
Okay.
Once you come off of the Smokies. I'm trying to think if there's a Texan one, because Texas is just like,
Easy.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Absolutely Buc-ee's. Oh, yeah. High
okay,
five.
the last Buc-ee's we went to was literally
was
worse
terrible.
than Disneyland. It was worse
No,
than Disneyland.
okay, yeah, the bad
Six
thing about
Flags.
Buc-ee's at like 1 a.m. is good.
Yes.
Or 4 a.m.
Buc-ee's
But-
at 4 p.m. on
Oh,
a
I got
Saturday is hell.
Oh, yeah.
Checkpoint in West Texas
Oh,
Checkpoint.
for the kolaches. Have you done that yet?
yeah.
Sorry,
the
I'm too way too
kolaches.
loud. I got really excited.
Chris loves kolaches.
You just got to stay this, whatever distance you want to be, stay that same distance from the microphone. You're like up here.
The
Stee-full.
mic is not a
My birthday.
kolache, Chris.
Have you been to West Texas? Or it's actually literally the name of the town is West.
I know where you're talking about. I haven't been there, but I've been to some gas station on 35 that
It's
has
a little
kolaches.
above Waco.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
checkpoint. Yes.
Yeah, I was a friend of mine and I were driving up from Austin to Fort Worth and back. We stopped there.
Classic.
Now, have
Yeah.
you been to Louis Mueller's in Taylor, Texas?
I have not.
You
Aw,
need to.
dude.
Next time you're
Yeah.
going down to Austin.
We're going there next week. We're headed
Taylor?
to Texas.
Taylor's?
Taylor. It's
Taylor?
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Taylor,
because-
Texas. Just outside Austin, really northwest,
Yeah,
northeast.
It's about 45 minutes
Okay.
northeast. Before,
East of Kyle or something?
yeah.
It's so
It's
good.
just a little bit further up.
Cool.
You go 35 and get off on 79. It's amazing. It's the best barbecue.
It's
I've ever
won
had.
like some of the like nationwide barbecue lists. It's on some of them. It's phenomenal.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I went somewhere. That was a
Stanley's?
pizza place that was west of Austin. Like if you're heading out to Enchanted Rock, someplace. I forgot the name of it. It's no good because but it was like they make it in like the brick oven right there in the
Nice.
place. And it's all handmade stuff, and
Yeah.
it's been there forever. I just can't remember the name of it.
That's the best thing about going to Texas.
Texas is great on so many levels. Every time I go there, I want to
Crazy people, but God, they're
There's
so
crazy
lovely.
people everywhere.
I know. But not the ones that you want to piss off because they have a gun, probably.
Well, it's all right.
But
I got like 6 guns in this room.
oh,
Not
Don't
really.
do
I mean,
that.
I got a gun in my coffee cup. So.
Not really.
No, not really. No. But the food, like Elliott's gonna just roll around. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to go to Italy when I lived over in Europe and all these different places.
Yeah.
But give me a chicken fried steak any day.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Or Tex-Mex.
Texas. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She'll even cave because she's very proud of her San Diego burrito.
Yeah.
Like Southern California burrito is like it's like supposed to be the I don't know, like manna for the gods.
Correct.
But yeah, the guy that started Chipotle, he started in like Denver, I think, or in Colorado, but he lived in California.
Yeah.
And he actually wanted to be a chef. He wanted to own his own fancy restaurant and be a chef at this restaurant. But he knew it would be expensive to run this restaurant. So he said, what can I do on the side to just be a good cash cow? It's easy. And he had been living in California at the time. And he was like, how about one of these little burrito places where you just walk in and apparently like the Chipotle style of business they had been doing in California, just
It's
different burrito
a Northern
places.
California burrito.
Yeah.
Our Southern California burritos are far superior.
Really?
We don't put cold ingredients in them. They're very simple, and you take them with you, and you can eat them in your hand.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal, and if you haven't tried it, you can't hate it.
People listening, Elliott just like lit up and was very excited to start talking about burritos.
Actually, technically, so that we invented the burrito in Southern California because it was not invented in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's not traditionally a Mexican dish, the burrito. So they say that it was in fact invented in Southern California.
Now answer this question, Elliot. How many times did we eat Tex-Mex in Houston last run?
Tex-Mex? If you're gonna eat Tex-Mex, you better eat it in Houston. That's all I'm going to say.
Houston does have an amazing...
It's kind of
they
the
might be
kingdom
the
of
winners.
Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
California kind of looks like a burrito.
See? I'm okay with all of this.
All right. What is
It's not a pissing contest.
the worst? What is the worst gig you've ever played as Volk? Like awkward wise.
Like the venue was bad or we were
Uncomfortable?
just bad?
No, not you. The situation.
Okay, we showed up to this gig once in Berlin, and we'd been kind of on like a good, steady, like playing some smoky dive bars and shit, having a good time.
Yeah.
And we show up, and they have nothing for us to use, and we were doing
they just had an
acoustic
amp.
stuff. They didn't even have a mic stand. They didn't even have a sound system, and no one wanted to say anything to us about it beforehand. And it was one of those great moments where you're like,
What did you do?
I think I just ended up playing acoustic guitar and she was holding a microphone or something.
And we kind of just did it. We just folksed it
Just as a
up.
prop?
We just turned it into like a Greenwich bar in the 60s where
Yeah.
we're just like, fuck it. We're not going to play with anything.
Berlin was great for that of coming here, of like dynamics of